Okay, so some of the things about hard surface modeling is that um, things like this are pointy sharp, and this would not happen in real life, right? Um, it would be sanded a little bit. It would be a little bit smoother and rounder. So we're going to add some edge loops, which are the things that are going to hold this together when we put a TurboSmooth on. And to show you what I mean by that, I will go ahead and put a TurboSmooth on here. And you can see how crazy that is. If I put on two, it gets smoother, but it's kind of rounding out our squared areas. It's kind of a cool looking chair, but not what we want. Wow, okay, don't go up that high. Okay, so I'm going to turn the eye off on my TurboSmooth. And to show you what this does, I'm going to do one side, and then you'll see how it is affected and how it's not doing it to the other. So I'm going to go back up to my modeling tab here. Oh goodness, why did it go all the way over there? I'm in TurboSmooth. Got to get the edges. All right, modeling and Swift Loop. So with this Swift Loop, remember it draws its self perpendicular to an edge. What we want to do is, in order to hold this edge, we need to draw a loop on either side of it. So I'm going to put one there and one there. So that'll hold that coming out this way. We also need to hold the sides, these edges. So I'm going to put one, I'm going to make them be all about the same distance. Okay, so when I do it here, this is fine, but now I need one on either side of here to hold this. Every side. Oh, this fun. There we go. And again on this side here, so I'm going to put one here. And you notice this one's going all the way around, which is fine, as long as we have it the right distance. And then I'm going to need one right here. Right? We also need one at the top, so I'll put one there. Gonna need one. I think I lost it. Oh, there we go. Do I have it? Come on, you. Let's go in here. It's not wanting to. There we go. I'll just do it here. It's not wanting to play well with others. All right, so I'll do it on that side. Okay. We also don't want to forget the inside of here. See if I can. I think it's a clipping plane situation here. There. And there. Right? And we also need to go on either side of this. So here. There. And here. And here. And here. So many places. There. There. So we already got underneath. We need one here. We do need one here, right? You'll see on the other side, if you don't put one here, what'll happen. And we need one underneath here. So each edge that's there that we want to hold, it needs an edge on either side. It needs a loop on either side. Okay, that's there. That one. this one. It's wanting to snap. There. I think I got them all. Okay. I think I got them all. Okay, so now if I hit the TurboSmooth, make sure you get out of the edge there, and I hit the TurboSmooth, you can see now that this one is holding these nice edges, right? So, it looks like I missed one right here. I'll show you. Do you see how this is stretching here? This funny stretching, right? So if I turn this TurboSmooth off, you can see I need to have one on either side of here. Yeah? Alright, so now I turn the TurboSmooth on. Okay, so another way I can hold this, I can do this show end result, right? So it's going to give me the end result when I'm down here. I don't have to go back up to TurboSmooth. Okay, so you can see that this is now this nicely rendered thing, and if we wanted to, we could go one more. Let me take a picture of this real quick here, and you can see it has this nice edge, like something would actually be made, right? It has this nice smooth joint to this, right? It's looking like a product. Okay, so you can see here when you don't have those edges to hold it, it wants to round it out. It wants to average it out. So by averaging it out, we're saying, okay, you can average it out, but right here, you can only average this space here, right? From here to here, you can only average that as opposed to from here to here. So instead of trying to average this out and smoothing it really big, it's averaging out and smoothing it really small. If I were to take this edge, so let me render this real quick. Let me turn on this TurboSmooth. I'll show end result and actually go down here. And with my vertices, you can see now with this orange cage, I can actually click on this. And if I were to move this up, let me get the vertex. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this edge and I'm going to convert that to vertex. And I have the vertices. And I'm going to constrain it to an edge. So now I'm going to make the distance between this and the actual edge more. So you'll see when I do that, it's kind of working like the soft select. And you can see that this now is getting more slopey smooth, right? It's now it's losing its corner and becoming slopey smooth, like that's a word. But now you can see it actually is looking more like an actual seam. Okay, now let's look at this with our map, right? Because we were here, and we had preserved our UVs. So when we turn on our TurboSmooth, if we were to turn on an unwrap now and look at this, you can see that it has given us all of these edges that we gave in the proper location on our map, right? So this is why it's better to, and it looks like I've got a little strange anomaly right here. Oh, well, I actually haven't unwrapped the whole other side, so that makes perfect sense. I need to put the edge loops over here. So let me go ahead and throw that away and turn that off and continue with the edge loops over here. So what we have now is this chair that needs a wood texture. And the way we go about doing this wood texture, I'm going to go ahead and throw this TurboSmooth away. I will continue with the edge loops here. Let's see, what will I do? I'm gonna continue with the edge loops, and then we will look at how we get our unwrap out. Okay, so I finished putting the edge loops on here, and so here is my chair. And if I put an unwrap modifier on here, we can see that turn the TurboSmooth on. Yes, 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 yes. We have all of our edges in here, and everything is fine. Everything is in the right place because we put our unwrap modifier on there, or our preserve UVs on there, and now our geometry is much better. Okay, so I am going to go back down to the edible poly. Well, I'm going to turn off the TurboSmooth is what I'm going to do. So yes, just turn off the TurboSmooth. Come here. All right, so this is a fine amount. So what we are going to do is take this out. So when you have this and you're all ready to go, as we are with this chair, options, tools, render UVW template. And we are going to make this be a 2048. We're going to put a really nice map on here. This is way more pixels than it deserves, but so be it. Undo the edge seams as green. So by unchecking that, they will all be white. So we're going to render our UVW template, and it looks goofy here, but don't worry about it. It's just a graphics card thing issue. We're going to click on this archaic save button there. This is my chair folder that I already have going on, and here is my chair UV. So I'm going to click on that, and then I will just say chair UV 02. And generally we save these as a bitmap. It's so that we can get the jaggies here. We don't want this alias. We want to know exactly where our UV is. So I will save that. Okay. Do this. That's all fine. Close this, close this. We can actually take that off. Not a big deal. I'm going to save this. Save as. I don't think I've even saved this yet. Chair and chair high. Look, I've already done this so many times. This will be chair high 2. Max. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is open Photoshop here, and we're going to bring in this bitmap. I've already looked and acquired for myself a nice wood texture. We're going to open desktop chair. It's my UVW2. Open that. So now we have this this silly grid. We can go to view and turn off the X-res. So here's our UV map to give us an idea where our chair bits are. So I'm going to right click on this layer from background. I'm also going to make myself another background, and I'm going to dump black into it. So the line is on top here. So I'll just call this UV. Could be line. This one is the background, so BG. And I will, I'm not going to worry about bringing in another layer because when I bring in the texture, it will be fine. So this UV needs to be a screen so we can see through it. Now I will place embedded my wood texture I have here. And I'm also going to rotate it. And I'm going to shrink this. I'm going to hold shift so that I'm not messing with the aspect ratio of it. I'm just going to place this here a little bit bigger. I'm just making sure the seam is going to be right there. So I'm going to say OK, and I'm also going to rasterize this. Just right click on it and rasterize it. I'm going to put it below here, and I'm also going to make a copy of it. V to move things, shift to hold. Oops. Let's lock that. Shift to hold it. And I'm going to line this up so that there's the seam. You know what the seam is there? I'm going to just put it there like that. Get my marquee. Okay, it's all the way over there. So I'm going to get my marquee and make sure I'm in the right layer and delete that. And V to move. I'm just going to nudge it over a little bit here. All right, so that'll work. I will merge this down, merge down. And just to kind of clean things up a little bit, I will do this. And these pieces right here, they're on the end, you know, so I might just give them a little bit of a noise, this area here. I'm gonna give them a little, add noise. Not that much, because maybe uniform. I'll say okay for right there, because it's going to be the end of the wood, you know, and I want it to have that the end of the wood look. Maybe I'll do it again. Let's take this and select that, and this time the add noise is right there, so I will do that and just maybe I'll do that a couple times. We'll see what that looks like. I might have to fix all that, but we'll see. Okay, so Shift holds it temporary, and I'm holding Alt middle mouse button to zoom in and out. And I'm going to turn the eye off on the UV, deselect this, and I will go ahead and save as. I'm gonna save this first of all as the PSD version. So save. And then I'm going to save it. You want to make sure you have a black background. So now I'm going to save as, we're saving these as PNGs now. We were saving them as targas, but I'm going to save them as PNGs now. So here's my chair2 underscore A for albedo. You see the chair A, so this is chair 2A. Save this, okay. And while I'm at it, I'm going to make a copy of this. Let's make a copy. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and make this filter 3D, and here is a generate normal map. I'm actually going to do a bump map here because it'll work better in 3ds Max for what we're going to do. And you can see it's going through its little mumbo jumbo stuff. Little blurry here, a little blurry. It's okay. Not going to need to invert the height. This is fine. We can give it a little bit more detailed here. This is what this looks like over here. Don't pay too much attention to this. I think what we're going to look at is, let's look at this with a cube. So I think this is going to be fine. You see it's got this nice, oh boy, where are we? I lost it. Easy. It does have a nice wood texture there. So I'm going to say okay. Okay. So this is going to be our bump map. So I'm going to say B for that. And this one is our albedo. So I'm labeling that. Turn the eye off of this. And we saved our albedo. So now I'm going to save our bump. I'm going to turn this off. And save as PNG chair, this one, A, and this is going to be our bump. Save, okay, minimize this. All right, I'm hitting M, and I'm gonna just move this out of the way here. I need another standard, a bitmap, and this can be the wood, the actual albedo. Put that on the diffuse. I'm going to get another bitmap. This is going to be the bump. And I'm going to put this on the bump, and I'm going to double click on this so I make sure I have this is my menus, not this one for this. Look at this bump right here. It comes in at 30 rather than 100. So I'm going to, I think I'll go with 75 here with this and say enter. And let's grab our chair. And drag this node to here. Click the button to view in to see in viewport. I'm going to go ahead and close this. This chair, I'm going to go ahead and choose the black. So we have these black lines here. All right, so to make this look awesome, I'm going to click on the plus sign. No, I'm not. I'm clicking on the word perspective and show safe frames. And what this is if we click on the teapot with the little setting, it's going to give us the aspect ratio. So if I were to change this, you can see I could totally change how this gets rendered. Okay, so I'll just zoom in on this. Close that. Well, actually I could leave it open. All right, so what I want to do with this chair is turn on the TurboSmooth. I'm holding Control and Alt at the same time to get a smoother zoom. And I'm going to hit render. And you can see that this is looking pretty darn good. Now, what we're kind of missing here, I'm going to hit the M, is the gloss and specular level. So I'm gonna bring this up, and I'm gonna make this kind of glossy. Right, the pointier it is, the sharper this gloss is here, right? So if I widen this, you see it's a smoother, wider, matte sort of finish. And then this kind of brings this, while this makes it brighter and whatnot. Okay, so now we have this kind of nice polishy there on it. Okay, so I'll close that and render this again. All right, so we can see a little bit of specular here. Let's try to get our another little. Let's see what that looks like on our end. It's all right. It's a little bright. It's a little pixelated. I thought I would try it out to get another end kind of wood here. So, but anyway, that's kind of what our chair is looking like so far. It's got the wood direction, wood going in the proper direction. It's got a little bit of a gloss on it, a little bit of a shine to it. A little bit of a bump to it as well. We can see that this is wood. And it's got these nice sanded corners and edges, and it's got the joints going in the right direction, right? The wood is going the right way. Okay, so that's kind of how that works. And if we put an unwrap on here to look at it, we can see that the edges from the TurboSmooth are all on there. We've embedded it so that this is really holding it well. And when we are down into our editable poly, we still have our preserve UV, so everything is working out well here. So if we were to look at our UVs, and now we can look at our pattern. I'm going to click on the chair A because now it's been assigned to it. And you can see that our map is sitting nicely where we had rendered that out. And if I were to show you again our preferences and to tile this to further, because before we only had the checkers here. If I zoom out and say tile this bitmap, you can see that it is going out indefinitely. So offsetting this is putting it right exactly in the same place. It's simply allowing us to have one set in the 0 to 1 space to represent, and it allows us to have the same material here without stacking the UVs, because it really does not like, game engines do not like to have stacked UVs. Okay, in the next video we will put the back on here, and I will show you yet another tool and also the cushions.